This video was sponsored by EA Meme Changers.
EA Games.
Matt Damon.
Guys, today the Laymen have decided to do an instructional video. We don't usually do guides.
We did one before. You did see the EA training session showing the diagram of how to really grow the business, you know, and that went really well.
Today we're going to do a complete guide for how to tank your company.
Totally.
We promise you that if you follow these 3 simple steps, you too can see your stock price drop by 15% overnight. I know it sounds too good to be true, but ladies and gentlemen, the Laymen got you covered.
Let's do it. So yesterday, everyone, there was a EA earnings call, okay? Of course, we were very excited to see the results.
Okay. We were invited on that call as well. We were listening there.
Andy Wilson was like, guys, can you come in? We just want you to be there because we want you to also celebrate with us, of course.
It's a euphemism for not as positive.
Oh my god! 15%, everyone. That's the magical number today. That is how much their stock has gone down overnight from that earnings call.
Yeah, that's a pretty massive drop. I know that number, 20%, was bounced around a little bit as well. I think that included some sort of overnight trading, but the actual amount is 15% overnight for EA stock. It's rebounded a little bit since then, but not much, like a few percentage points. It's a pretty cataclysmic drop for a company overnight to drop by that amount.
Not to mention, we've also seen like a 30 or 40% drop in the last 6 months for their initial stock from 140 or something down to $80. Or, these are rough numbers, but like it's been a huge drop.
It makes me so sad as
I
well.
know, I'm really upset.
It really breaks my heart, man. I just feel so bad for EA.
They
work so hard.
We are here for you, Andy.
EA blamed their lack of success on Fortnite and Red Dead Redemption 2. This is a true statement. This is actually what they said. They said that it's a competitive industry, video games, and that it's a battle for time more than it is for money, and they literally blamed Fortnite and Red Dead as the reason why they weren't more successful that quarter.
That's what Corey was saying about God of War. You're just like, you know, there's all these other games competing. Nobody, if you bring out a fucking great game like Corey did for God of War, it doesn't matter what other games are coming out.
I'm sorry.
Do not be sorry. Be better.
It doesn't matter what EA says about this. The reality is there were like 3 major fails that saw EA stumble over this last 6 months. And the Laymen, we've got you covered. We're going to make sure you know what they are so that you can recreate them in your own business and make losses.
Okay.
Number 1. Command & Conquer
Yes.
was announced. Do you guys remember this?
I think that Blizzard definitely took some notes from EA. They're like, I see. Really get everyone excited about a potential new, you know, installment in a franchise and drop a mobile game instead.
We want to use mobile devices as the platform for a new Diablo.
It works every time.
Do you remember how that game was announced and then no one ever heard anything about it ever again?
Completely
dropped off the face of the planet. It's just... It's like it never even existed.
It was like the Silent Man. It was called the Silent Man, you know? Square Enix just dropped it on the market and
the
didn't
Quiet
say
Man.
The Quiet Man, sorry. They just like, I don't know, whatever, it's on ours.
So this is really just a sign of just how out of touch EA are. You could have had them say, guys, we're making a new Command & Conquer game. There hasn't been a good real-time strategy game, like a major AAA, you know, properly published, properly marketed RTS game in a long time.
I think it was 2007 we saw StarCraft 2.
Was that long ago?
Yeah, it was that long ago.
Halo, what are the Halo?
Oh, Halo Wars. Yeah, Halo Wars. And look, you know, it would have been a good opportunity for them to drop it in between, of course, StarCraft 2, maybe Halo Wars, and also the Warcraft Reforged. Like, there's definitely a space right now to throw that in. But oh no, EA doesn't want to do that.
That's right. They're like, we know exactly what gamers want, and we're not going to give it to them.
Yep.
And this really leads into step 2 in EA's complete failure plan. And that is bungling the Star Wars license.
Oh yes, multiple times.
Multiple times. Now, what was interesting today is that Disney came out and said that they're very happy with the way that EA are managing the Star Wars licenses. which really goes to show you that Disney are just as fucking stupid as
evil.
EA is. But if you've seen The Last Jedi, that's not going to surprise you at all.
And they also said something along the lines of, Disney's not great at making video games.
Yeah,
Did you see that? It's like, that's pretty much them saying, I don't know what we're doing, let's let them do it.
Totally.
My God, how out of touch are you, Disney? You're like the biggest company in the world.
They are actually the biggest media company in the world.
Yeah.
And they can't
Apart from Laymen Gameming.
And they can't look at sales figures, massive like backlash on a scale we've never seen before, and a whole raft of cancelled projects and think, yeah, these guys are fucking this shit up.
Yeah, it's really not that hard.
At the end of the day, there's no way that EA could have fucked up Star Wars anymore. It's literally just a license to print money. It's like buying a mint, right? And then EA somehow managing to set fire to it. It blows my mind that they screwed it up as badly as they did.
And not to mention, they went quickly also. Then they cancelled single player game after single player game. And there's one more now in the potential future, but it's going to be cancelled. Everyone knows it's going to be cancelled.
Well, they did say actually recently that Respawn's the Fallen Order, like Jedi Fallen Order game, is coming out this year. So that is something to look forward to.
And given what Respawn just did
with Apex Legends,
I'm very excited to see if there's some high quality shit there.
That's a great game.
Great game.
Step 3. Battlefront 5?
So this is how you do it, everybody. Yeah. Number 1, okay, you do the worst marketing campaign ever
in history.
Then you tell people if you don't like it, then don't buy our game.
That's right.
Works every time, okay? Yeah. Then have a Christmas party for Battlefield 5 to show all the shit things people are saying about the game and just put it on a wall, for God's sakes. That's how to do it, everybody.
An announcement was that Battlefield missed its projections by about 1 million units. It still sold 7 million units. So let's be real, that's still a successful game.
Very successful. Yeah.
But it's still a lot less than they wanted to sell, and surely EA wanted to have a longer life cycle for this game than it's likely to have, because people just don't like this game now. Like, it's got such a negative sentiment in the industry.
Yeah, and it was a good game. Look, it was buggy. It was buggy, but all in all, like, it was
very buggy,
a beautiful looking game. It handled well. Like, there was a lot of good attributes to that game, but the marketing campaign, the buggy initial launch, like there were so many things that just did not go well for that game.
I think at its core, you know, Battlefield, DICE just went to war with their fan base. You know, like, there was just some things that were said, and the way they positioned that game was just so antagonistic to a lot of the core player base, you know?
Kind of like another company. Yeah.
And you just can't do that. Like, I just don't understand these companies that think the best way for us to grow our brand presence is to piss off those people who are most loyal to us, you know?
Is to get our consumers woke. We'll make them woke. It's like, it doesn't fucking work, dude. Like, it never will work, for God's sakes. When you literally, like, patronize your own consumer base, when you talk down to them, when you tell them that they're all shit human beings or uneducated.
Yeah.
It just never works, for God's sakes. It's not in the Marketing 101 handbook, everybody.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, obviously this is a conversation very much about, like, women in a World War II game. It's like, well, obviously gamers are sexist. And it's like, look at Apex Legends. It's come out. Half the roster, I think, is women.
Women.
Everyone's fine. No one cares. Right? It's not about women in video games. It's about the way that Battlefield was handling that. A historical game, and the way that they've sort of constructed is like historically accurate, except for this one specific component that's really weird. And also we rewrote specific components of history and just to ignore them because we wanted to tell a different story. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, all that stuff.
There's definitely a line that just, once it's crossed, it just becomes like, well, what's going on here? Just like, yeah. So definitely, but I think
I did see though someone in the comments being like, Apex Legends, it's disgusting. The only white man is behind a paywall. And I was like, that's pretty funny. You know what I mean? That's pretty funny. So look, that's the thing. EA right now are in a tough place. And they've actually admitted it as well. They're like, we had a bad quarter. They said, we're focusing on stuff. We're focusing on Anthem's launch coming up, and we're focusing on this successful Apex Legends launch we've just had. I will say it's absolute genius that they announced Apex Legends on the same, or released it on the same day that they had this terrible stock news. It was brilliant. It was like a brilliant way to bury this news story and reposition it, because they can say, we had a shit quarter, but look how good this product is.
It becomes that Friday news dump thing.
Very much. So it was a brilliant move. Whoever in the finance division decided to sync these things up on the same day, promote that man. Make sure he gets a $52 million bonus because he's earned it. Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, that's EA's complete guide to failure. We trust that it will result in failure for you too. Stick around for Laymen Gaming, the #1 source of failure on YouTube.